Hello Cancer, and welcome to your March 2023 reading. So we're doing things just slightly different this month. We're taking a look at how we can just like direct the reading a little bit more. Even though it's a collective reading, we're going to take a look at what area of life this particular reading is showing up in so that we can direct it a little bit more. Obviously, if you want a specific reading, you'll want to book that, and the link for that is down in the description below. So what we have showing up for the area of life that this is showing up for you, that this reading is showing up for you in, is the third house. We'll get into that in just a moment, but we're also going to pull your cards for the month so we can get the overall picture. So we'll be taking a look at, as we have been, the beginning, middle, and end of the month. What is showing up? What's the progression? What are the themes that are coming up for you? And also, the end of the month. Let's take a look at that. I'm actually feeling this card here. So far seeing a good amount of pentacles going on. So looking at the challenge that's coming up as well. And the spiritual advice for you. Okay, so let's take a look at each of these in a bit more, like a little more in depth. Just want to make sure that those are in frame for you. Okay. So first we're going to take a look at the third house. So this is how we're going to kind of focus the reading a little bit more. Third house has to do not just only with your communication, as it says here, the way that you express yourself. This could be your actual words, how you like speak and communicate with other people, but this can also be your written expression, like how you write. So all forms of communication. Also, it has to do with a very kind of local environment. So this is like, there would be other houses that might represent like foreign environments, like the ninth house. This represents more like your local neighborhood you can think of. And also relationships that are either siblings or sibling-like. So maybe like friends that feel like a brother or sister or something like that, right? So this is the area of life that we're looking at. So take this information and apply it to like how that is applicable. Also, you know, like when I talk about communication, this could also have to do with, you know, maybe the area of life where that is really something prominent that you deal with consistently. Maybe you're a communication coach. Maybe you are a writer, right? A journalist or something like that, right? So that's another way that you can also look at this. So I think that gives you enough of an idea of what this is about, what area to kind of apply this to. So see where you can find how this resonates with that particular, like those themes in those areas of your life. So the first card out that we have for the beginning of the month is the Six of Pentacles. Then we move into the King of Wands, and then we also have the Ten of Pentacles. The challenge that we see coming up is the Nine of Cups, and the Fool being your spiritual advice. Right off, I'm just going to say that I see some internal power dynamics that are happening for you, some questioning that's going on, and having to do with what it is that you're building towards. So we'll get into that a little bit more, see how this resonates with you. It is a collective reading for Sun or Rising. Gemini, I would say, yeah, maybe you could look at this for Moon, but honestly, really just look at it for your Sun or Rising is what I would recommend. So first card out that we're looking at is the Six of Pentacles. So with the Six of Pentacles, we're looking at that dynamic of give and take and equanimity. So does it feel balanced, right? Like maybe with your communication with people who are like friends in your life, or like siblings in your life, friends like that, or siblings or people in your immediate environment, your local, like your neighborhood, your local community, neighbors, things like that. That could have to do with that. But this is also about just like, we're looking at the pentacles, we're looking at our resources and the give and take that we have. And this could also have to do with your energy, right? How much energy you're putting into something versus how much you are getting a return on that. You know, and it doesn't have to be tit for tat in life. Like that's definitely not something that I'm a fan of, is doing this like tit for tat kind of tallying when it comes to our experiences with other people. However, it is like there is this balance of looking at like, well, what actually feels like what feels like this is worth continuing to invest, the level of time, energy, or other resources that I'm putting into this particular connection, or this commitment that I've made, or this project, or whatever it is, right? So there's something about that that's coming up for you in the beginning of the month. It could have to do with actual financial resources. It could have to do with something like that, like whether, someone's borrowing a bunch of money from you and not really like paying you back, or it's always like kind of going in one person's always kind of like talking about their life and you never really get to talk about yours. Like, just see that in, just try to give examples as much as I can when I'm doing readings that are collective, so that you have an idea of like how you can apply this to your life. When we move into the middle of the month, we're looking at the King of Wands. And, the King of Wands definitely feels to me like about coming into a sense of personal power around what we're creating, right? This is a place of leadership and taking leadership in your life, right? And that could be taking leadership in a project, taking leadership in your community, taking leadership in some way, but doing it in a way where you're really stepping into your personal power and your confidence for what you're going to be creating next. Now, one of the reasons that I actually say that is because we're seeing in the end of the month, you have the 10 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles is about building that long lasting, you're building for the long haul. You're building for, one could look at this as like your legacy, but this is something that will stand the test of time, something that is going to be able to be either passed on, generationally, or something that's going to, it's something long lasting and grounded and stable, right? Like creating that stable foundation. This could also, again, have to do with finances, physical resources, the physical world, because we're looking at Earth and the Pentacles, right? So this could be land or property, or straight up finances, like straight up money, right? So this could have to do with that, but it doesn't have to be applied in that way. But this is about what you're looking to build, and for those of you who are looking at this in terms of like relationships with friends, or relationships in general, right? We could say like there is something to be looking at as far as, again, that energy or time or attention or even physical resources that are in the give and take here, and really stepping into your personal power with this, and wanting to build something that really is lasting, right? You want to build like this connection that's lasting. So again, apply this how it applies. One of the things that I'm seeing coming up for you as a challenge is the 9 of Cups, right? And so with the 9 of Cups, what we're looking at here is, I think there is doubt coming through about whether or not this is achievable, whether, this is something that you're going to be able to create, like whether it's feasible. Like, are you in la la land and just dreaming about this, or is this actually something that can come to fruition? And so you might have some doubts coming up about whether it's actually achievable or not. And what we have coming through as the spiritual advice with this is we have the Fool card. And I love that the Fool card is coming up, because one of the things that's beautiful about the Fool card, like one of the really beautiful aspects, right? Like there's shadow aspects to the card as well, but this is in the spiritual advice position. So what we're seeing is like, hey, look at the journey ahead of you with all the optimism and enthusiasm that you would have when you would start a new adventure. If you were to start on a new adventure, you might know that along the way, it's not all going to be roses, and you're going to run into like some kind of bumps and bruises, as you go through the process. But when you start out, you're just full of hope and possibility and optimism, right? You're just like, I've got everything. I mean, the other thing about the Fool too is that the Fool is starting out on this like full on journey, right? Like the land is ahead and they're just like beginning to step out onto the path. It's not like the Fool's carrying a bunch of stuff with them, right? They know that they have everything that they need to start this process. Like, I have enough, I've acquired enough of the wisdom or skills that I need to actually start the path. You may not have everything you need for the entire journey or to be a master right now, to have mastered it and created the end product or the end goal of what it is that you want immediately. But your guides are telling you to like remember to step into a place of possibility possibility, right? Step into a place of possibility and enthusiasm and optimism about the path that you're stepping onto and moving on, right? That's the part that's probably going to help carry you through things, right? Think about, people who start, it's not I know it's kind of just popular over the last, especially like decade or so, but, it's like not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur, but some people who are starting their own businesses or side hustle, it's like the things that carry you through to the other side is often like there is something that feels hopeful, something that you feel is possible, that you're reaching towards, right? So remember those things, be in touch with those things to help carry you forward. If you haven't already checked out your new moon reading that happened towards the end of February, you can check that out if you want to kind of get a sense of like how this is progressing. I will also be putting out the full moon readings on the 7th of March so that they're up and ready for you guys there. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, whichever one you end up watching. So I hope that this was helpful, and let me know how you guys like this style, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.